Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. We've got good. First off, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Hopefully, everybody has a nice, wonderful Sunday planned with your friends, family, what have you. Tran, good morning to you,
Good
my
morning.
kind sir.
Good morning.
You know, it's an interesting morning coming off the heels of, I would say, just I don't know what descriptive word you want to put in there. If you want to put
Laughable,
devastating loss, laughable,
embarrassing.
embarrassing. I put humiliated in the thing, but we'll do chat overlay here in a second. But I appreciate everybody jumping on, rocking with us. So while you're in here, hit that like button, show us some love, show us some support for the channel. Just trying to grow this thing. Now, the other thing is I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, busr.com/fanatic. Those of you who were going to be, hammering out some NFL games today, those of us, we were one fight away last night on our parlay.
I
Damn
will.
you, Phil Hawes.
I will forever hate him, no matter what. No matter
Blew our
what he
seven
does.
fight parlay. But still were able to make some money last night on the sure thing in Canelo Alvarez as well as Kamaru Usman. So bsr.com/fanatic sports 100 FP. Tran, let's get to the meat of this. And I'm going to put the chat overlay here because we have not spoken. And just your thoughts coming off last night. I don't know where you want to start, and I'm going to read the chat and let you roll for a little bit.
Okay, so I did not get too worked up in this game because I had a feeling we were going to lose, to tell you the truth. The thing that I am extremely, extremely upset about is the fact that we quit. It's like, how are you going to preach the fact of the pride and winning tradition of the University of Texas is not entrusted in the weak or the timid, and then you come out there and put out that type? We were leading again at halftime, and we didn't let the lead go because our defense was gassed. The first drive down after halftime, there was a play where on the touchdown run from was it Bryce? Was it
Brees Hall.
Brees Hall, yeah. He ran right up the middle. BJ Foster didn't run towards him. He turned his back, ran away, and ran rounded to try to get to him. It's like,
are you talking about the speed option that they scored on?
I don't think it was a speed option because it was right up the middle.
Oh, maybe it was a different play. Because
Yeah.
I know when they scored that touchdown to go up 10-7, which is when they kind of took real control of the game offensively. We said all week, we this was a big part of our show on Friday. If I'm Iowa State, I'm installing speed option this week. I think the commentators actually said that on their broadcast as well, and pointing out Texas's issues defending speed option. And they come out in the second half and run speed option, get a 47-yard touchdown the first time they run it.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
To me, it's just it's really frustrating. The only good thing that came out of that game was our legit is our punt block. Like, our punt team is the only good thing that our punt return punt is the only good thing that came out of that game. Another good thing probably would be that Joshua Moore caught his first pass and had run after catch. That was pretty good, but that was it. I can't. And I'm not going to blame the players, because the players were out there and they just look like they're disinterested. And it's when the crowd is screaming, I don't know if I could say this, but when this crowd is screaming, fuck Texas, and I'm hearing it on my TV, and you guys are just sitting there just, okay, that's fine. The only actually, no, I take that back. The only person that I'm proud of is Roschon Johnson. When we ran the QB sneak with Hudson Card, which I thought was special, and they kept playing after the whistle, about 5 seconds after the whistle, Roschon was the only one who got in people's faces. He was the only one who showed any type of fight. Look, you got to have some type of pride, and it's really frustrating. And now we can't even rely on the coaching staff to hold up their end of the bargain, because if you have a team that's completely disinterested, that goes to coaching, honestly. And it's just, to me, it's just,
Why do you go straight to coaching? I'm
I go
asking.
because even how dysfunctional we were last year, look at it this way. Last year, were we ever disinterested in a game? Or do you think we were do you think we were competitive?
We're always competitive.
Exactly. We weren't competitive. Even when we had a 7-3 lead, I was like, we're losing this game easily. It's like our body language, our mannerism. When they started running the ball, I think it was their second touchdown, and their hands weren't even on their hips for the defense, and it was on the 4-yard line. I told my mother-in-law, my wife, and my coach Gabe, I was like, if I'm them, I'm going real quick, running up the middle, because they are disinterested. What'd they do? They ran it right up the middle. Luke Brockemeyer, for some reason, ran to the block instead of trying to shed it and fill a hole and tackle him. And all we got is one hand on him. When you're in goal line, there's no way that someone should just be able to easily walk in. You actually have to get hit. It's extremely frustrating to me, because PK was supposed to be the home run hire for defense, and we're not seeing anything. We're seeing we're not seeing any progression at all. We're seeing regression, and it's really frustrating. It's really like you want to get in your players, but how are you going to get in your players when you have kind of a tenured team and you can't even teach them how to play sound defense? Then offensively, we just crashed. I mean, I don't know what was up with Casey Thompson, but from what I saw last night, Hudson Card is not the answer. He doesn't have pocket awareness. His timing is off. I think he can get the deep ball down, which is huge in Sark's offense. But if you're running around and you're holding the ball for 6 seconds and you're not even stepping up in the pocket, that's on you. You know what type of line you have, and you have to help them out a little bit. It was just bad, and we haven't given credit to Iowa State for coming out and smacking us in the face. Good for them. When they were up 27-7, I was telling everyone, Christy's like, oh no, they can come back. I was like, we're not coming back from this. We don't have those dogs that they're like, okay, well, we can come back. I wanted them to run the score up on us. I really did. I wanted them to pour salt in the wound on us, and just smack us in the face. Just, hey, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Now, after that game, I feel a little. I don't feel very. I feel kind of nervous about Kansas.
So
I feel kind of nervous about Kansas. Their quarterback, they run the speed option very well.
Yeah. What's his name? Jason Bean. That guy's a maniac.
Yes.
That guy's
he is going to roll all over us. If we don't just load the box and make that dude beat us with his arm, I don't know what PK is doing at all.
Brother Tran, I feel you, man. And Texas fans, everybody watching, Renzo Abernathy, we need to recruit O-linemen, get some experience from the portal. We need to get better in the trenches. Tom Brady will struggle behind our line. Renzo Abernathy, are you Reginald Abernathy? Because if you are, you're the one that won the contest. I don't know if BUSR has gotten in contact with you. If you are that person, just throwing that out there. But thank you for the super chat, my friend. And Tran, I feel it. I feel you. And you said so much there. I don't even know where to jump in. I think the low hanging fruit is the quarterback discussion, and we'll get to that. But defensively, I actually thought the plan in the first half was fine. I mean, they gave up 3 points in the first half. I know that this is we've always broken down pretty much every week in the second half and those things, but the opening plan or the sequence or whatever they were trying to do, I felt fine with it. They gave up 3 points. That was 3 points off of a turnover where we immediately start the game with a fumble. And that fumble starts, and now I'm worried because the starts aren't there, right? And so we start the game with we miss Marcus Washington right off the bat. He's wide open. We fumble on a first down run. Bijan's fighting for extra yards. Defense holds up. Now it wasn't pretty, but they hold up for 3. That was the rest of the points they first half. People make adjustments. And Iowa State had sat on that speed option, which they went to and scored on. They ran a trick play, which they went to and scored on. And yet again, we are sit here, at least defensively, like, I'm with you. It's not about snaps anymore. It's not about conditioning. The fight isn't there.
Yeah, they quit.
That fight isn't there. Like the moment that the game, our situational football again. So I'm gonna tell you where I got pissed off. I got pissed off after the I think it was Moochie Dixon that gets his hand on the punt. And we get the ball, I think, around the Iowa State 45-yard line. We're in plus territory, right? With 50-something seconds left. I think we have some timeouts. And it's like, oh, we got an opportunity to get some points right before half. And we miss a wide open touchdown. And we blow the whole thing. And that's where we get the penalty. And it's like 4th and 19. And that's something where it's just like, we are terrible situationally, and that continues to plague us. But the complementary football aspect, the defense falls apart after that. Why? They allow people to make adjustments. We seem to, once we get knocked off our script, we seem to be useless. I hate saying this about my football team. I hate saying this about these kids. I know how hard they're working behind the scenes, and it's not reflecting in the games. It's not, but I know that they're putting in the work. I know that they want to fix it. I know they want to win, but now it's like I said last night on Twitter, it's the sum of all fears. We have now reached that point, right, where our culture, we're starting to have the culture conversation where everything is being exposed, right? And people, when you want to blame Sark, this is now in the blame game aspect. I agree with you in terms of PK. We expected that to be the home run, but our expectations were wrong, Tran. Our expectations about this football team were all off. The coach's expectations of they could, have some success in year one, that was off. We overrated a lot of players. So the struggle that we'll have moving forward is in the offseason, the roster turnover and recruiting and all these things that now there's so much ammunition out there to try to deter Texas. And that's where we'll get to really, really, really judge this staff. Because year one, they failed. I always say it's pass, fail, grade. It's a fail. That doesn't mean people get fired, in my opinion, because firing people and just saying, oh, this guy sucks or this guy sucks, to me is not the answer. Right now, it doesn't look good. Looks ugly. But it looked ugly for a lot of coaches in year one. And I'm not going to even bring up Nick Saban and all those people anymore. I know people are getting annoyed by that. But even Dave Aranda last year, 2-7. And I know Baylor lost, and I know Mel Tucker lost yesterday too to Purdue. They only won 2 games last year. But it looked ugly for them too. And they started flipping their rosters. And we got to do the same thing. But Trey, you wanted to touch on a particular comment?
But real quick, in no way am I saying, hey, we need to fire PK.
No.
In no way am I saying that. I just need to see something from him. I need to see us do something better, which I did think like you said, to your point, for the first half, I think we played the run really well. I think we held Breece Hall to like 16 yards rushing in the first half. So we did our job in the first half, and then just after that, we were done. So, yeah, this is the one that kind of popped out to me. Honestly, it really comes down to leadership. I think Joseph Osai was huge. I think Caden Stearns being there was huge to lead the defensive backs. Even Chris Brown. I do think Chris Brown was like that irrational confidence guy that gave us a little bit of juice. So I think
Well,
those.
not only that, Tran, Chris Brown was a good football player, was a good college. I know he's not in the league, but for what at the collegiate level,
He graded out higher than anyone in the nation.
he
I
was an
think.
all-conference
Yeah.
player. He was always where he was supposed to be. He was physical. He played the pass well. Like by the time he left here, he was a fully developed collegiate safety that was very good at his job. Caden Stearns always got a lot of slack. And yeah, we're
He's
pro.
balling out
We
in the
like
NFL right
Caden,
now. Yeah.
but he's balling in the NFL right now. And he was a guy who was asked to do a lot of different stuff at Texas that was not in his wheelhouse. And he did it anyway. It was leadership. Joseph Osai was one of the best defensive players in college football. You lost him, and we replaced him with people. Scheme change matters too, but we've replaced him with people that are a bunch of Jags. Just another guy that you don't have to shift your line. You don't have to game plan for any of these people on edge, and the coaches know that too because you
We
can
also
see how
forgot
they're
about
rotating.
Taquan Graham too. I forgot about
Take
Taquan.
Taquan
Yeah.
Graham, another one, right? Defensive interior looks a whole lot different without 49 in there. So, but where are the guys that were supposed to rise up in their absence? That's how good programs work, right? You lose to Taquan Graham, Ojimo, Alfred Collins, Vernon Broughton, Byron Murphy. You're supposed to be boom, boom,
The
boom.
next guy up.
The next guy up. That productivity, all those positions we name, even on the offensive side of the ball, people talking about, hey, we lost a very good offensive lineman in Sam Cosme, who was grading high. Christian Jones supposed to come in and supplement that. Now we got a rotation with Christian Jones and Andre Carrick. We can't do it. A quarterback who was the leader. And you can say what you want about Sam Ehlinger, but they always fought for him. And now you're in a situation where you don't know who your quarterback is. Because Casey Thompson wasn't ready to play football last night.
Yeah.
Period. I don't know. You can talk about the thumb. If the thumb's a problem, I don't know. The ball, comes out throwing dirt balls. Balls aren't nowhere near close. There's windows. I feel bad for Marcus Washington because he was open. Feel bad for Xavier Worthy. They're open.
K. Brewer had a couple.
All these guys. The backup comes in. Hudson Card. A lot of people have been beating the drum for him, right? Hey, let's see.
He didn't look like he was ready.
He was not ready to seize the opportunity. He was not. He looked like a backup quarterback. And I know people will talk about arm talent. Again, we're just talking about what we're seeing. But Mike,
you're big on talking about receipts. I've been the biggest Sam Ehlinger backer of ever, and everyone was calling for his head when he was here. I think those same people right now would be killing that he was still here for his took the little COVID year, wouldn't you?
Man. I mean that leadership. Oh, it is a mic issue on my end. I'm sorry, guys. Let me see what's going on. Go ahead, Tran. I'm gonna see what's on.
You sound perfectly fine on my end.
Nah, it's like buzzing on my side. I'm gonna fix it real quick. Go ahead.
No, it's just like it's really frustrating because we knew that Ehlinger didn't have the arm talent last year, and we knew that probably Casey had a better, stronger arm and probably a little bit better accuracy, but you can't underestimate the fact of leadership.
All right, sorry about that. I don't know what's up with the mic on my side, but we'll get a hand. Who's causing trouble in the chat? We got to kick somebody out. I've been talking. I don't know if any of my mods are on right now. Some of y'all need to wake up. Oh, Tran, I hear Pebbles in the back too.
Yeah, the kids just walked in and opened the door. So I'm gonna not drop real quick. I'm gonna drop the video real quick and go close it.
No worries. Who's causing trouble in the chat? Because we're gonna get you all up out of here if y'all keep causing trouble. OU7 is a troll. All right. Well, If I see it again, somebody let me know. If not, I'll have to name somebody a quick moderator. If you're an OU fan in here and you're stirring the pot, you're really a Texas fan, or because I don't understand why I would come on. Y'all the type of people that kick people when they're down. So if that's who you are as a human being, God bless you. I think Tran is back. Anyway, let's get to the meat of this, right? Because there's a lot to dive into. And I think we were talking about Sam Ellinger and we could talk about the losses, but these guys aren't here anymore. They can't stay in your program forever.
Yeah.
You're supposed to move forward. And we're not moving forward. I'm talking about the kids. The coaches now, that's what you got here for. That's why, Steve Sarkisian, if you want, people want to believe, or I understand the people who are already skeptical of Sark because of his head coaching record. And hey, we understand he's a good play caller. Like, there were touchdowns that he dialed up yesterday that we didn't hit.
Missed on worthy deep. Yeah.
And so, but football as a head coach, as a coach of a program like Texas, is so much more than just having a bomb-ass scheme. It's so much more than that. It's so much more of all the stuff, all the crap that we have to deal with off the field, all the, the managing of between the boosters and the egos and recruiting and all these things, right? I mean, look at Texas A&M. They get Walter Nolan yesterday, #1 player in the 2022 class. Big win over Auburn. Program is we over here as Texas fans, we love to talk trash about A&M and all this type of stuff. They're building it the right way over there. They just don't have the quarterback yet. But God forbid, old boy comes in there next year or develops. Like once, you know what I'm saying? Like once Jimbo figures the quarterback piece out, they're going to be a problem. But we don't respect it for whatever reason. But like, where are we in that journey? We're at the ground floor. And so now we came in, we bought a house in terms of this staff. They're learning that, damn, we got to strip this thing down to the studs. Trying and there's
we already built it up to the drywall, but we missed a door frame that we're supposed to load.
Yeah, and we're gonna say something here right now, and I know people don't want to hear this. You're in the rebuilding stage now. You're in the rebuilding stage now. Donovan Cox, I said Sark was in the same class as Lincoln Riley as a play caller. I still feel that way.
He schemed so many touchdown passes that we missed.
I'm talking about in terms of play caller. Obviously, as a head coach, he has not accomplished what Lincoln Riley has. But hey, again, y'all want to come in here and kick us while we're down?
Do it. Whatever.
Go for it. This chat is popping right now. I appreciate everybody in here. So I don't know who threw us a dislike before the video started, but shout out to you. Shout out to the haters. Play calling is not the issue. There's a lot to complain about. There's a lot to go in about. Personnel. We overrated the talent. We're bad situationally. But play calling, it's interesting. Somebody's bringing up Gary Patterson. We need to start talking about analysts in this program, man. We need to start getting in.
And Bagman. I don't care about the analysts right now. We need Bagman. Coach O, get them boys over here.
Get Coach O in here. Get all the linemen. Coach O, we'll just have him like as a nondescript consultant.
Yep.
You know what to do.
Best friends cash.
That's what Bama does. They have 1 million people on the staff with no official title other than consultant.
Yeah.
And they're there to deliver players.
We need to start paying kids in Bitcoin so no one could track anything. I'm done with this. I'm done with playing fair. You see where fair has gotten us?
He said, to be fair, people were kicking us. That wasn't on our channel. I didn't have a YouTube channel then, so I don't know.
What are you talking about?
one of the OU people talking about kicking people when they're down.
You guys have been up for, what is this? You're going for your 7th championship? We've only been doing this for 3 years. So we're good.
No. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No, we're not Bama. I don't know who keeps saying that. We admit that we try to look. We want to be at the
We
top.
want to be Bama.
Everybody does. That's what you should be striving for, especially with the resources we have. But we're not only we're not there. We can't. I don't even want to talk about programs like that. I'm just trying right now to be the best version of Texas, whatever that means. Because we're now having a conversation about bowl eligibility. Like you're over here asking me, oh man, I don't know about Kansas. Like, and we can't assume that game now because we don't know what the guys are quitting or whatever, right? So we're having the bowl eligibility conversation. West Virginia is going to be favored against us in Morgantown, and then we end with Kansas State, who's solid physically. All these teams that are physical give us issues. So there's a strong reality we could be 5-7. There's a strong look.
I would
Yes,
be
I
shocked
talked
if we're
about the Bama analysts. I'm talking about certain things you want to
Yeah.
take from programs, but not comparing the program like for like. Hopefully, you guys are smart enough to keep up with the nuance of what we're discussing here. However, we're having a bowl eligibility conversation right now, and that's sad and that's disappointing because no one. I didn't see anybody before the season talking about Texas is 5-7 and 6-6. All right. So here we are. Very real conversation now. But go ahead, Trent. I'm going to keep going through the chat here.
No, I forgot what I was going to say. I was like, yeah, I could definitely. I wouldn't be shocked if someone said, "Hey, you guys are going to be 4-8 now at this point." It's like you said, Kansas State. They're a pretty tough team. What are they, 6-3 right now? They're a team that grinds, and then West Virginia is always a tough place to play at. Last game of the year, so the only thing that I'm holding on to is that we have played pretty well at home, and we have 2 home games. So that's but this is not the season that we wanted. We wanted to see at least. I think we said it was a failure if we weren't 8 wins at least, right? I think that's what we said at the beginning of the year. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, the other thing too, and I'm glad Taryn actually said this about Mac Jones the first year. The other reason why I'm not talking about Bama success wise or anything like that, but the other comp is the coaches that we have, including the head coach, just came from there. So we're installing a lot of what they were doing over there. So that's where a lot of the comparison comes in as well. Mac Jones, we're looking at him because he was the trigger man for this. He's the last trigger man for the Steve Sarkisian offense. And yeah, he was up and down his junior year, but he was never as bad as what we're seeing with the quarterback play here right now. I mean, that's no. Justin said we haven't won since I came to watch them at TCU. We haven't won since a lot of things. Since Jordan Whittington went down, since Jacoby Jones went down. Some of the guys that were playing better football for us and really starting to figure things out and come along. So it's frustrating. We've lost 4 straight games. I mean, just say that it's been we've had a lot of bad things happen to us over the last few years. 4 straight. That goes back to 2010. 2010. So, I mean, at this point, so a lot of people talking about Bijan's injury and whatnot. They're going to be close to the vest about that throughout the week.
It looked like a hamstring for me, where he was grabbing.
Definitely will be close to the vest with the injury stuff. My frustration, though, was I didn't agree with them hammering out more touches with him. The games, I understand, it's kind of that fine line because we were talking about, hey, did we quit in this football game? But so but also I want to protect my merchandise. And we're running people into this stuff, and it was just like frustrating, right? And so, um, I mean, the way Roshan was playing, Roshan could have got me out of that game. I tweeted, I said, is Keelan Robinson still on this team?
They gave him 2 touches. One of them he dropped the ball at
Yeah, he
the end,
dropped the
but
ball, then
yeah,
he had the slip problem again.
yeah.
But and so that's I want to use him as an example, right? He gets in, they try to scheme some stuff up for him, and he starts slipping and sliding, right? There's a lot of guys on this team who I see that from where they've been waiting for the opportunity, and then they're almost too gassed up when they get in there, um, where they're trying to hit a home run as soon as they get in the game because he's like, I haven't touched the ball in a month. I got to try to make something happen to justify my spot, right? And so even Bijan, I thought started for the really the first time started trying to do stuff well outside of what he's capable of doing. I mean, he hasn't really had fumble issues before, um, and all of a sudden that comes on, right?
Right.
And so guys just defensively jumping out of their gaps, trying to be superheroes because we're struggling, and it's like now I got to clean up for somebody else, or I got to make a play. I got to make a play. We saw it on special teams at times, not yesterday, but throughout this 4-game losing streak, where people are just trying to do too much. So
Sharpie, man, that fumble call, you got to think right now in the Big 12, any 50-50 call that's with Texas is going to go against us. You have to have that mindset now. I mean, let's be honest. Do you agree with me, Steven, on that?
yes, we've set that expectation from the beginning of the season. Any 50-50 call, you assume it goes against Texas. Although with that particular call, because they ruled it a fumble, it was going to have to be irrefutable evidence to overturn it, right? So anything where it's like, well, I think he's down. Of course, we're going to say that. We're Texas fans, right? We're going to lean that way. Like, I didn't think it was the worst, most egregious call, in my opinion. I mean, if they had ruled that he was down by contact, then they probably stay with that call. But we held to 3 there. It wasn't a backbreaker.
I didn't think the officiating was bad in this game, honestly. To tell you the truth, the only bad call that I thought that they did was they let them keep playing when Hudson Card definitely had his, and then they pushed him, and it was like any other quarterback, it definitely would have been a penalty if they kept playing like that.
Yeah, 350 in here. Make sure I hit that like button. See, misery loves company. How's everybody doing this morning? Y'all ever see the Ed Reed clip when he came into the locker room when he was at Miami, and he was like almost in tears? And so I don't know what happened or what the context of this was, but it's an all-time great clip. He walks into the locker room, Ed Reed I'm talking about, and he just starts screaming, "Don't ask me how I'm doing, because I'm not tired. Okay.
I'm hurt. I'm hurt, dog. I'm hurt.
I'm hurt, bro.
Coach said dominate. We ain't doing it.
Coach said dominate, and we ain't doing it. So don't ask me how I'm doing. I'm hurt." That's how we feel as Texas fans. Oh, Drew said, what's the BSR promo code? BSR promo code. Let me put that up here right now for you, Drew.
FP100.
Right now it is Sports 100 FP.
Oh, they changed it.
Which is the free play. So 5-time rollover on that. Sign up on busr.com/fanatic. Drew, thank you for the reminder. There is the current promo code I have. As I get more, I expect there to be more as we get into some of the playoff pushes. I'll get the word out on the promo code. So thank you for asking. Make sure I hit the like button too.
We are attending the Kansas game.
Out of the chat, let me know. I haven't seen any problems. Wow, the whole OU gang is here now. Buddha's in here now too. Donovan's in here. Royal's in here. Everybody's in here now. So, Donovan, I respect you, brother. You've always been you've been on the channel for a while. I've always respected you. And, congrats to your team figuring it out.
Y'all weak.
We gotta grieve together here, brothers.
Yeah,
No, that's true though. Let me see. Where's this comment? I'm having trouble keeping up today. My
it's going
goodness.
too fast.
It's going fast. Yeah. Travis Owen said we need somebody. And it's not even like, yeah, Ed Reed's an all-time, once in a lifetime talent player, all that. I mean, we maybe had somebody close to that, like a Earl Thomas or whatever, but it's the competitive nature of a guy who's also one of our best players. And just is like, yo, I'm not going out like this today. Bump what the coaches are saying. Right? Like, we will police ourselves. We will police this energy. Again, like it starts with like, so let's go to the quarterback, right? Because we haven't really gone too much into it. I'm I, we are in a worse place now. First off, did we overrate the quarterback talent? I think the answer to that is yes. And not only that, but now I'm concerned in terms of,
Can we
is my
define
starter
what?
even here for 2022?
Can we define what you mean by overrate? Are you talking about this current? This current?
Hudson
Uh,
Card, Casey Thompson.
no,
I
I'm
coming
talking
into the
about in terms
season.
of coming. Okay, so coming into the season, I don't think
Mhm.
that we overrated the quarterback. I think we took the fact that we know that Sark could develop quarterbacks, and we gave that the benefit of the doubt there.
Okay.
Um, I think the talent is there. The arm talent for Hudson Card is there. Casey Thompson has the arm talent too.
I don't see it with Casey, arm talent wise.
I mean, I've
I
seen him
think,
hit on some really
yes,
nice deep passes.
from a
Uh,
college standpoint, I've seen
yes.
him. We
Oh,
know what he
I
can
don't
do.
think he's an NFL quarterback by any
No.
means
Okay. Okay.
necessary.
Okay.
But is he good enough to win games for us? Yes.
Hmm.
I've seen
Yes.
quarterbacks who are less the quarterback of him win games. I think he's a better quarterback than Jake Fromm.
Casey looked like one of the best players in the country against OU.
Mm-hmm.
There's film. I mean, the thing is though, so I think whoever said it just now is about the mental. I think that's probably where we need to go with this, because Casey has limitations, but it's not any crazy limitations that we haven't seen from other good college quarterbacks. Hudson Card's limitations clearly are upstairs, and I don't know if he ever will show the capacity to like lead. We got to see how he develops. He's still only a freshman. He needs reps. Clearly, his clock needs to improve in the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
All of those things. But with Casey Thompson, I think where it's frustrating is that we've seen him start the game like a juggernaut. We've seen him start games where he comes out fast, he's hitting, he's on time, he's accurate, and he can move the team down the field no problem. Even with his legs. Even last night, he even looked stiff running. Like it just, that's why I was like, I don't even know if he was ready to play football. And that's really concerning because he was supposed to be the juice guy. And then once he doesn't have juice, like I agree with the decision that Steve Sarkisian made in the first quarter of like, bro, if you're not ready to play football, I got to put Hudson Card back in the game, right? And then if they both are ineffective like this, do you start talking about the portal? Do you start, because he's going to need
Yes.
somebody to buy time until he gets Malik Murphy ready, and then whatever happens with Arch and all these other quarter, like they're seriously gonna have to look at the portal.
Yes. No, I mean, you're going to have to
I
look at the
can't
portal.
have this again because you guys are too inconsistent. I've seen signs. Even yesterday, there are certain throws that Hudson Card would make where I'm like, oh, okay, that's what they've talked about. That's what I saw at Lake Travis. And then the next time he throws the ball a mile over Xavier Worthy's head, where it's
It's really
scramble
hard to
dome, that's
outthrow him.
going to be an easy throw for him.
Yeah.
So the inconsistent, like, I can't trust you guys to be consistent week to week. It's frustrating.
Especially on the road.
Can't trust
Apparently,
my offensive line to be consistent. Who's consistent on the team week to week? Can I talk about a few things I did like? Because I mean, I know we're bitching and complaining right now. I like what we got from Delhi playing the edge. They moved. We talked about this on the phone. and
that he needs to move positions.
he needs to
Yep.
change positions, and then he was out there playing the edge. I thought Delhi did a really good job playing the edge. Now the brother made a play and then they took him out, which I didn't
Yep.
understand.
Made a play behind the line of scrimmage, wrapped up the legs. And they're like, okay, cool. He's tired. He's tired. Come on out. Like,
What?
okay. I see you.
But Delhi looked good playing edge. They stumbled into something there. Or let me give them more credit than that. I hate because I think somebody told me, Steve, when you say stumble into something that's disrespectful to the staff, like that wasn't their intention. So I will be more respectful. They found something with Delhi at the edge. Let's see where we can go. Or maybe, I don't know if it was just for one game only, one hit wonder, but I like what I saw. How he engages with blocks, how he was getting off. He seemed to know how to dip underneath the offensive lineman on his pass stuff. So I'd like to see more of him play on the edge. Jet Bush did tackle well in space. We have to give him credit where credit is due. When the ball came his way and he was in space, he wrapped up the legs and got the man on the ground. Good job by Jet Bush.
Yeah, for all the Jet Bush hate out there.
I just don't want him to be the 4-eye guy.
Yeah.
But where he was playing when the ball came his way, I mean, he was fine.
But it's so funny about Jet Bush.
Thank you for
with
the
our
super
fans,
chat, by the way. Dimpled Wonder. Thank you. Go ahead, Trent.
Real quick, just it's so funny about the Jet Bush fan, not our fans out there just critiquing Jet Bush specifically. Like, come on, man, he should be playing. He's a GA on any other team. I'm like, no, he's the type of player that goes to another team and dominates us for some reason. He's the type of player that puts up big numbers against us from a tackling perspective. So, we got to make sure we get those guys on campus here and produce here. So Casey's bad play came out of nowhere today. Those throws in the dirt made no sense. They were bad.
We've seen him. Casey's been up and down with that. This is why the conversation about the quarterback thing was happening before the game. We have not seen him play like that to where the balls are just going straight in the dirt and nowhere close. Like, we've seen him inconsistent, but we haven't seen it that bad. So, but to say that it came out of nowhere, I mean, that type of performance, maybe, yeah. But I thought he's been shaky. It's not. That's the frustration, is that he's been shaky, but then we go back to the other guy to give him another chance, and he's not ready to take advantage of the chance. So where does that leave us? He said they look like they have money on BUSR. We look bad, bro. We look bad. It was. So yeah. So who are the young guys we need to get out there? I want to see. I want to see more Jahdae Barron. I like what I saw from him. I think he was involved in the fumble that was forced earlier in the game. Something's going on with my mic. I don't know what was going on. I apologize, guys. But I want to see more Jahdae Barron. Just some, start the youth movement. It's evaluation season. Everybody wants to talk about, let's get to the bowl game for the seniors. That's on the seniors.
Yeah. It's like no one else.
Does Card at night have a vision problem? Yeah, I mean, we've been asking for Jatavian Sanders is now the new Keelan Robinson. I don't know.
Maybe they don't want to burn a year of his when we're this bad, and they knew that we were this bad.
I do like Darian Dunn. I always see him physical. I think he had a tackle for loss yesterday. Here's where I'm at with Moochie. So there was a ball that Card threw where he had a man in his face, and he threw it good on time. And I don't know if it was a timing issue or if Moochie just didn't run all the way through it, but that little thing off his hands, it's the slight edge, right? It's those little things. And I like Moochie, but the brothers, I could see some of the consistencies that probably frustrate the coaching staff. Like, there was another ball before Casey Thompson was benched where Moochie was almost laissez-faire in his route running, and the DB runs through him and gets to the ball. Like, to me, like, you see the more physical, the better receivers, they don't allow those things to happen. So if you want to be on the field, I see the talent with Moochie, and Moochie did a great job on special teams yesterday. He was terrific. But in terms of running routes and whatnot, we've got to see these guys, like Jordan Whittington was so good at that. Jordan Whittington was not letting no DBs run through his body, right? And he was running his routes. We saw that route he ran earlier in the year where he just had people in the mix. We got to find more people like that. And I know recruiting's help is on the way.
Knock on wood, there is.
Get here soon enough. Haven't won a football game since Jordan Whittington left. Somebody's got to step up. Who's going to step up? Guys, stop putting the Bijan transfer stuff out there. Unless you're not a Texas fan saying that stuff.
Whittington was not our leader offensively. Bijan is.
Well, he might be meaning juice wise. Bijan's
our best player. Gotcha.
Yeah, Bijan's our best player, but I think juice wise, and it's frustrating too, right? For Bijan because he, as well as he's played all year, and that's another positive. We got a back over 1,000 yards this year. Woohoo! And he's had a really good year, no doubt about it. But all these games, he's being outrushed. And it's not his fault. I'm not saying, but Brees Hall, Abram Smith, Kennedy Brooks, Jalen Warren, the other guys getting more yards on their side than our guy.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about our guy. And we love our guy. Our guy is fantastic. I'll take our guy over everybody else's guy. I will.
But would you take our offensive line over every other?
But hopefully that proves to people the importance of the big boys.
Yes. Because
a lot of people get on here, and we just talked about the quarterback. Quarterback is not a strength right now for us. Very few parts of this where there's any strengths. But one of the things that I will say is the offensive line, it's indicative of evaluating this as a team sport. It's a team sport. Football is. So I don't care if you have you can have a diamond in Bijan. It doesn't matter if the rest of the team can't hang. Period. So,
Well, going to your credit on the big boys is like you have to also think of it this way. Like, other than the quarterback, who's the highest paid people in the NFL? It's left tackles, right? Left tackles or D tackles. Those are the highest paid people in the NFL. So, going to your point, the big boys are very important. You can win. I mean, look at A&M. Their defense is predicated off of their defensive line, and their defense is very good. Very good because of their defensive line. If we had the pressure and the dogs that A&M had, I think we'd be. I don't think we would have lost those 4 games, to tell you the truth, because it would have turned.
Go a step further. Because A&M is so good on both lines, they can get by without they don't even have good quarterback play like that. Like Calzada he's gotten to the point where he's serviceable. Like, he's not bad like he was to start out. And Calzada was really good against Bama. Got to give him that. But I mean, this guy's out here throwing 15 of 29 for $180 or 200 yards, and it's fine because I have A-Chain and I have Spiller running behind Beast. I have a defensive line that can get after it, which allows my corners and my safeties at A&M to fly and harass Bo Nix, right? Like, if you're built like that, you can get away with – look at Georgia. Georgia's out here getting away with Stetson Bennett, right? They're built inside out. But we're built with our running back is great and our receiver is really fast. And that's dope. I'm glad we have those pieces. But we're not built inside out at all. At all. And that's where they got to get to. Chris is in here chiming in as a Oklahoma fan. Calzada is very tough, and the team responds to that because I thought he dislocated his shoulder yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. But toughness, moxie. How many college quarterbacks have we seen in our lifetime, Tran, who will have no business playing in the pros, but just because they play with other tough dudes and they bring that leadership and they can get by? Like, but we're the reason why we're focusing so much on our quarterbacks and arm talent and all these other things is because we know we need somebody like that in order to be competitive because our lines aren't good. We know we need somebody like that because we can't just put a Zach Calzada back there because we have
Our
all the
offensive line is so great.
yeah. So that's where the debate comes in. Yeah, Casey Thompson probably would look a lot different in a behind lines like that. Hudson Card too. I'll give them that. But for what we need until we get that personnel in here and how they need to recruit it, especially going to the SEC, it's no brainer. We got to follow that blueprint. Will McDonald was walking people back into the pocket yesterday. I told you guys about number 58 on Iowa State, the big boy. You saw the day he had yesterday. And I knew it. Those are things that you can just look at. There's nothing we could do to counter that. Personnel that they had, or the week before with TJ Franklin on Baylor, there's nothing we can do to counter that when you look at their people and our people. Yeah, we can try to, the coach can try to scheme some stuff to get the ball on the edges for a while and hide. But you can't hide for 4 quarters when you're facing monsters like that. Will McDonald was shredding our line. The brother got hurt, came back in, and went right, started teeing off on people when he came back in the game.
Rushing 3.
What'd you say, Trey? Rushing 3?
Yeah, rushing 3 people. It's fantastic.
Oh, gosh. I'm just catching up on the comments here. He did dislocate the shoulder. Okay, but yeah. A&M has 2 freshmen playing, but wasn't Bryce Foster one of the highest rated players in the country? Now, I know y'all got him playing center, but that's still, y'all still got elite talent on there. And credit to their coaching staff too to have freshman offensive line. That's very difficult to play with. But we had, I mean, that's where we really got set back with Herb Hand and the previous staff though, because 2021 class for offensive line was an all-timer in the state of Texas, and we blew it. We blew it. Those people are going to – there's a lot of dudes there that are going to play on Sundays in that offensive line class. Every year, it's very rare that you get classes like that annually. All those guys nobody came to Texas. I think we got one. I think we got Hayden Connor. That was it out of all those guys. Poor culture. Dan, y'all are typing at light speed. Mm-hmm. Y'all are frustrated, just like Tran was off top.
That's great. Perhaps the volleyball girl could get a block.
Stop trying to stir the pot. I don't want to hear about culture, and then people are in here talking about
getting rid of the coach already,
or getting rid of the coach, or people want to transfer. Like that stuff, I won't entertain. Right? I mean, at least me. Like, if you want to have a conversation with me about the team and whatnot, it's how do we fix it with the people we have here now on the staff. But firing everybody again is not the answer. I'm tired of that. So Cosme was that big of a difference.
And he's playing on Sundays.
Oh, Flood's trying to. Trust me. Trust me. Trust
Cam
me on
Dewberry. You and I were talking about, hey, get Luke to put in a call to his brothers. See if we can get them in the portal.
Jeremiah Powell, thank you for the super chat. Can we grow up as a fan base? Cars has 8 quarters. Calzada took 4 games. We need to stop crapping on PK. Look at recruiting D-liner as primary targets. So I think it is fair, and thank you for the super chat again, Jeremiah. I think it is fair to critique PK in terms of what we're seeing on the field as of right now. That is fair game, and it's not good. Now, I do think we've seen improvements starting the games with the defense. I haven't been too pissed off with a lot of the first half stuff. I've been pissed off with when people make adjustments to us. I'm pissed off that we have no clue how to defend speed option. Those are things that are on PK. Those are things that are on Jeff Choate. Okay, period. That's why I'm assessing them. Yes, the recruiting with the defensive line. Shout out to Bo Davis. Yeah, he getting busy with the defensive line for sure. But in terms of these quarterbacks and whatnot, I mean, it looks bad because you're Hudson Card struggling on top of trying to play with a shaky offensive line. That's a bad recipe. It's a bad recipe, especially when you're going against, pretty physical teams up front that move your guys around. Zach Calzada, could grow up behind a better offensive line than what Hudson Card's had to deal with. But thank you for the super chat. And Marlon, to your point, we've got it. That's where the portal has to come into play to supplement the recruiting. This roster is going to turn over. There's just times where you got to have a conversation with dudes where it's just like, look, it's better for you, it's better for us to part ways. You're either not a fit for our culture, you're not a fit for our scheme. That's no slight. There's guys that have left here that are balling. It's fine. But in order for us to move on and get to where we want to go and get the people in here, now I sound like Coach 30. We hit the air out and get the people in here that we need.
That we need.
Oh boy, what did Donovan say? Yeah, sometimes it's also that marriage with the kids, Kyle, in terms of the quarterback and the marriage of the offensive line. We'll go here for 5 more minutes because we do have a hard stop. I have to get to the Cowboys game. Tran has stuff to do with the kids. So we'll go for few more minutes and then get out of here. Kyle said what? It is so important to lock down this recruiting class. The story's changed from look at what we're doing, how we can use you to now no job is safe and you can start next year. Yeah. Yeah.
And digital bag man. I'll be the digital bag man. Just give me the Bitcoin and I'll send it over to him. Hey, we pay for it. We pay it for everyone.
We're gonna turn this thing around. Oh, Chris gave us a super chat. Let's go ahead and acknowledge the resident troll here. Sark has never won more than 9 games as head coach. We're really surprised that this is happening. Bama can't hide you forever. That's a funny comment. And honestly, Chris, objectively speaking, until he does it, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Fair or not. Fair or not. I think Sark is a better coach now than he was 5 years ago when he was at USC. But I can't prove that because the result is bad. But you're right.
One thing
Until he does it.
Yeah. The one thing that he has done well though is he's hidden our weaknesses in certain games, in certain possessions.
Luke Stewart, thank you for the super chat. Stand together, stick with Sark. Yeah, we got to hang in there with the staff. And Texas fans don't want to hear this, but the only solution to me long term is patience and stability and continuity. And we probably aren't going to. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna tell you right now, Trent, regardless of what we do in the portal and all that, I'm not saying we're gonna be that good next year.
Yeah.
I think this is a long-term rebuild now.
We need to think that this is a 3-year rebuild. I think 6 years.
This is a long-term rebuild.
But
I don't know. I don't even know if we can put a number of years on it. I mean, ideally, you'd like to see it turn around sooner rather than later. I'm with you there.
100% you could put a number on it.
Okay. Well, with the
100%
money
you could
we're
put
paying people,
yes,
sure.
with 100% you could put the number on it. And I mean, you have to take it as a as kind of like a Matt Rule rebuild. Like, look how crappy he was his first year. I think he didn't win a game in the Big 12. Next year he won like 6 games. Went to a bowl game. Then the third year, I think he only lost 2 games the whole year. I think by the third year we should be 9 to 10 wins with all the investment, all the resources that we have. And I'm not saying fire him if he doesn't hit that number, because injuries happen. It's the context of the season. But saying no, we went out there. We were a 8 to 9 win team every single year with Tom Herman, and we went out and got a different guy to win 10 to 11 games every single year. And if you're not producing that by the third year, that's an issue.
I think that's fair. But the thing is, so Sharpie man, do we even adjust our expectations again now that we're moving to the SEC?
Are we playing Vanderbilt and South Carolina 3
Bro,
times each?
hey, South Carolina might have gotten Dan Mullen fired.
Yeah.
They may have been the nail in the coffin for Florida.
Oh, there's another bag man for us. I'm saying, hey, let's play everyone.
Brian Webb, thank you. We're fans just like everybody else. We just try to run this channel within the context of real life and try to stay realistic. We're not always realistic. Sometimes we get ahead of ourselves. Sometimes we get excited like fans and gas up the team. I know I've been I'm one of the culprits, but once we get the data and we learn what's really going on, is what it is.
I agree with that, and that's what I said. Is like if we have to show progression year over year, and then by the third year, if we're not at a 9 to 10 wins off of that, it's a failure so far in the Sarkisian era. So,
I think the thing too is we get to a point where we see other schools, other programs, and we don't pay attention to how they got there. We just see where they're at now, and we start comparing ourselves, and we want what they have. We want that success. We want to be in the playoff conversations. We want to see our names in the rankings and the polls and all these things. And I feel as though because of that, we disregard where our own program is and then put unfair expectations or unfair things on top of it. Now, some of the criticism is valid. Oh, what did Ruben say? Go ahead, Trent.
I lost it, actually. I don't have the YouTube up. He was talking about.
Was it this one?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Those 10 plays, even if we get it, we're not a good team.
No,
I mean,
no.
that's what I wanted to touch on. Is like we're not a good team.
Ruben, I love you, brother.
Yeah,
but we gotta stop this. Okay, we've lost 4 straight games. I understand. Technically, you're right. But good teams finish.
Yeah.
Thank you for the super chat, Matthew. Do you think the portal we try to find a QB also, where you try and play the rest of the season, knowing Casey has 1 year left? So this is what I would do. And this is just my opinion. Casey got to start the Rice game and have the good stat game, right? So to be fair to Hudson Card, I would let Hudson Card start the Kansas game. Or you could let them compete during the week and just hold on and be like, we're going to do the 2 QB thing. I don't know. I would play Hudson this week against Kansas. And yes, I'm hitting the portal for a quarterback. And I didn't think I would be saying that, but yes, I would be hitting. I can't not make that any more clear. Yes, I would be hitting the portal for a quarterback.
Agree. But there's a short leash with Hudson Card. If we start out with like three and outs again, that hey, I'm sorry, I got to get someone in there that'll actually move the chains. I'm not a delusional fan. neither is Ngotti, and that's why we get along so well.
So we always have gotten along. We've only been friends through Texas down period. Like we weren't friends when we didn't know each other when we were competing for the national championships.
Yeah, we didn't know each
11,
other.
12 games. During Camelot.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know each other during the Camelot days. We've only known each other in the days of hell.
The way I describe it is like Dave Chappelle when he's talking about, I got to go perform, and you know what? It's going to go great. that was my weeks on Saturdays for most of the Saturdays during the early 2000s. This game's going to go well.
Miles Brennan, I mean, yeah, pain brings us all together. I'm not gonna get into the.
You're gonna crack the car.
Yo, leave me alone, bruh. Leave me alone, bruh. Yo, the way people have kicked me when I'm down. Y'all should see some of the tweets. I'm like, damn, was I really out here talking like that to where people are coming for me?
For the most part, it's all love, though. That's the funny thing.
It's all love. No.
Like,
we can take. I grew up in a culture where we clown each other, so I can take it. When my teams are bad, shoot, I grew up in DC. I know you got to go, Trent, so we can wrap. But I was just gonna say this: I grew up in DC before the Cowboys had Tony Romo. During the before Bill Parcells, when we had like Clint Stoner playing quarterback, and we were god awful.
Quincy
Carter, and getting clowned every damn week. So I'm here. Yeah, John Doe. Look. I said on Twitter too. 5-star culture. That quote by Breece Hall is an all timer for the sake of Texas. This is the last one we're going to address, and then we're going to bounce here into our BUSR exit. Start with now. Remember, OU went through the thin years to be in position. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. I feel like some of y'all are being a little condescending with your uplifting messages here. Some of you OU fans. But anyway, Tran, Sunday morning. I know you got a day with the fam. Wonderful day. Guys, go out. Don't let football ruin your stuff. Tran and I got on. We had a call this morning. We're excited about today. Right, I'm gonna go see my Cowboys kick some ass against the Broncos.
At least we got the Cowboys.
Family. Yellowstone's back tonight.
Oh yeah, 4, good call.
2 hours on Paramount. Today. Look, this is a long-term rebuild. So buckle up.
Asian persuasion. It's just that it's natural light. Usually we shoot at nighttime, right? So that's why my hair looks lighter.
It's a long-term rebuild. And do we want to be in a long-term rebuild, Tran? No. But we got to buckle in. Because what else are we going to do? We ain't switching teams. We always 10 toes down here.
Mm-hmm.
But now we got to be realistic in terms of what we're seeing. And we have to be conservative with our expectations moving forward, in my opinion. I already know next year, because that's part of the problem too. Everybody gets Texas. Everybody sees Texas, and what do we do? Before every season, we go win 10 games. Texas back. Nah, not anymore, bro. It's a long-term rebuild. I got to see it before I believe it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for jumping on with us this morning. Tran, thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
BUSR. There's the promo code. I know some of you guys are asking for it earlier. BUSR.com/Fanatic. Go and hit that link. Get signed up. Let's make some money together. Sports 100 FP is the promo code. Shout out to our winners, Reginald Abernathy, Chris Church, for the game next week.
Also, Phil Hawes, we hate you.
Phil Hawes. Eternal disappointment. Guys, remember, horns always up. Horns always up. Even today, horns always up.